So, you guys all set? Everybody here good for checking out Screaming God? A new demo that we've got for Kingdom Death? Alright, so, who here has not played before? Anyone? Cool, good. So, what we've got right here is, this is the Screaming God. It's the first time that we're showing off one of the newer expansions that we've got for the Kingdom Death game. Kingdom Death is a strategy RPG hybrid experience that takes place in this nightmare horror world. So, as many of you already know, your survivors are hunting these titanic terrors that you're going through this world of endless darkness, hunting them down for food, for resources, for things you need to make your settlement flourish. To start off with, we're going to introduce you to your characters here, so if you take a moment to look at what you've got right now, I need you to verify a few things for me. First of all, every one of you should have on your gear grid 3 bleeding tokens already on the board. You'll also notice that your equipment has it's already built in there and has a few grayed out areas. Please pay those grayed out areas no mind. On your survivor record sheet, I'd love it if I could get each of you to place 4 survival into the survival area. And as far as armor, in every one of those boxes, please assure that there is nothing. All of you have already, in the course of this battle, which is going on for some time, you've been beaten around, you've been battered, you've been kicked and stomped on, you are down to the barest of bones. So 3 bleed, no armor. So, in this scenario, we're fighting the Screaming God, and the Screaming God is this monstrous creature that is careening through this, its natural environment, which is this realm of ruined walls and just all these dilapidated, mysterious structures. The entire time, it's being pursued by this wall of ravenous, screaming antelopes, which are pursuing it and the survivors as they're on this hunt, as they're locked in battle with the Screaming God. They are in effect being pursued as well by this crushing wall. To demonstrate all this, to replicate all of this, what we're going to do at the beginning of every one of the monsters' turn is all of the survivors burst forward and all of the terrain fades towards the stampede. The monster too, as it's hunting you just as much as you're hunting it, it also stops and staggers, repositions, tries to get these good spots, so it too ends up veering back towards the stampede. Additionally, any knocked down survivors have the potential to, or any knockdown survivors...
Sorry, it is going.
Not a problem.
You're good.
Any knockdown survivors also end up moving 6 spaces back towards the stampede. If you collide with the stampede, instant death. Crushed to death, ravaged by this wall of monstrosities. Additionally, the Screaming God itself suffers from this endless hunger. You can see underneath here, it has this rib-tooth lined undermaw and all these hands that are all too ready to scoop you up inside. So should you run into the Screaming God, it also has high potential to devour you whole. Otherwise, it's the same as the game as you play it all the time. So to start off, we're going to make sure that we've got you all in the right positions. So I'm going to need a bow user right there. I'm going to need a character that most looks like a whaler with a hat and a harpoon right there. I'm going to need the person with the largest sword right there. And our spear wielder is in the prime position right there. Okay, so at the start of every one of the Screaming God's turn, and as you all know, monsters always start first, it's going to draw a card from the Horizon deck. The Horizon deck represents this wall of darkness up ahead where new walls come into vision as all 4 of you are rushing forward. So, this one has us placing 3 new wall tiles, just like so. And the survivors burst ahead, so that means that all of this fades towards the stampede. The Screaming God moves 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other walls also back toward the stampede. And then due to your immediate masterful placement and understanding of the world that you're running through, all of you manage to not careen headfirst into a wall, which would knock you down, promising menace. So, that's the first part of its turn, and then, as usual, the Screaming God draws an AI card, God's Bite. The Screaming God knows the ruins like the back of its many hands. It thunders towards you. Pick a target. Farthest threat in range, which would be you. So the Screaming God is sort of speedy for a monster. You might notice that some of the faster monsters in our game have speeds upwards of 8 or 9, maybe even 10. The Screaming God's movement, what is that symbol there? That is the infinity symbol. The Screaming God can move as far as it bloody wants. So, in its pursuit of you, the Screaming God also avoids all terrain, which makes it unlike many monsters. So it actually takes this winding path around to get all the way up to you. And then, God's Bite. 1 speed, it's got an accuracy of 3. So that's a hit, so that would be 5 damage. Now you may dodge out of the way if you would like.
So do we start with dodge, encourage, and dash available?
Great question. You start with dodge and encourage and dash. So everything before this demo, everything but endure and surge. So we do not have those two.
We have 4 survival?
You have 4 survival.
When you depart
I think we're all...
I've used
Yeah, for now, yep.
Okay, so I'll go from 4 to 3.
Yep.
To dodge.
And you dodge out of the way. So, there's a follow-up here. Turn to place as many survivors as possible in Explosion Zone of Death. Perform Explosion. Explosion is one of the signature event effects of the Screaming God. The Screaming God is a loud boy, as demonstrated on this particular image. So he turns and the monster's muscled tongue corkscrews as it screams, projecting an ear-splitting phosphorescent explosion. Its zone of death is 3, widening to 5, widening to 7, and then all the way back in this awesome blast. So it turns and throughout that entire area. Those of you in the explosion zone suffer 2 damage to a random hit location. Survivors may spend 1 survival to dive beneath the explosive blast. You take no damage, but you are knocked down. So if you're our hat wearer or our swordsman, you can spend a survival and get knocked down. Or you can tank the damage. Dealer's choice.
Could we have dashed during one of the flows earlier, knowing that was coming?
There is not a flow between the attack and explosion.
That we're not done.
Okay, so you're going to take 2 damage to a hit location. All right, to the hands.
And I am knocked down.
All right, and you're knocked down. Fantastic. So that is the end of the Screaming God's turn. It's up to y'all. What do you want to do?
Well, I would assume that whoever has the spear is right behind him.
Blind spot?
Yep.
Go ahead and attack. Blind spot. Do you want
Yeah.
encourage first?
Its blind spot is the 3 spaces right behind it, nothing special.
Can any of you guys get up to attack it?
Yes.
And both of you can?
You guys reach, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, both of us can.
Okay.
Cool. They both can attack too.
I will encourage one of you guys because I already have only 3 survival.
All right, who do you want to encourage? All right, so sword wielders, back up.
Okay, cool.
I'll take another die, please.
There you are.
So blind spot, 5 to hit.
5 or higher. Oof. All right, so 2 misses there. Would you like to move at all?
Yes.
Now something just to be.
Dashed with the walls.
There you go.
So if you were along this line, you will not be hit by it, but you can't get through him. So that's rough.
You're not guaranteed a horrible fate just because you're there. It's just the opportunity for a horrible fate.
So it would be the same potential horrible fate like here.
Yes.
So I'll move to him.
All right. Sounds good.
If a piece of terrain were to come and land on her, does she then suffer knockback?
So the terrain, as it collides with you, the feeling is one of, this is coming at me, I have run into it, and I stop at the point that I've run into it. So one way or the other, if somebody is collided with in this area, they will end up having their survivors placed somewhere in this row.
So if this were wider and the god did not move, there's a chance that she would be shoved under the screaming god, potentially?
Potentially. But it moves as well.
Yeah.
But it is entirely possible for the Screaming God during the Endless Horizon card to have you run into the back of it. So we have our Zambato wielder that's up. We have our bow wielder that's up.
Yeah, I guess I can shoot it. What's the range on the bow?
The range on the bow there is 7.
Not enough.
No, and also the walls do block terrain, or do block your line of sight.
What is your movement, sir?
No.
Your movement is 5.
All right.
We need to move him out of the way first.
Yeah, maybe.
Tricky situation.
How about I will encourage you, sir.
All right, you're up.
And then I'm in your way. So I can act.
Yep.
Yeah, you might need to get out of the way first, yeah.
All right, so you move right up to the beastie, and what you're gonna
I'm
do?
going to hit it with my calcified Zanbato.
Prove it.
I'm going to attempt to hit it with my calcified Zanbato.
We're looking for 5s or higher, so that's 1 hit.
10 strength.
All right, you managed to strike the monster in its ancient rump. Roll me a d10. 10 plus 2 does not beat its toughness of 13. So there is also a reflex reaction. So not liking the breeze that you have created on its ancient rump, the Screaming God charges forward, positioning itself farther ahead of the stampede, moving the monster 10 spaces towards the horizon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On the upside, this thing, as it takes off, breezes right past you, the arms reaching for you as it goes by, but not dragging you along. So, who's up next?
I'll go ahead and go.
All right, bringing your vicious hat to bear.
Yep, and it's good enough for me.
Satisfied there?
Yeah,
all right,
safe.
Bowman,
Yeah, I can't shoot over these, can I?
you may not shoot over the walls. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, bonk. So, all right.
Do I need to dash?
It's true. If you stand there, then the next time that it moves.
All right, I'm gonna have to dash. I'll lose that.
Oh, so all we have to worry about
Gotcha.
is taking that down to 3.
More than one way to instantly die in this game.
All right, so you may move 5 spaces.
Is that for you in range?
All right,
It's knocked back, but there's not
Oh, it goes
really-
3, right?
it moves 6.
I'll move
So you
6.
could go here, or you could be here and then push back.
I guess I'll go behind you guys.
That's a great space. All right, so that's everybody's turn. We're going to take things back over to the Screaming God's turn. And the first thing that's going to happen is this Endless Horizon card is going to cause new walls to emerge. Before anything else, does anybody want to move their survivors? All right, so you're all 100% pleased as punch with the situation laid out before you.
Not quite.
So the next card, 3 walls, 1 in there, 1 over here, and 1
Nope. I'm not good.
right there.
So close. This is weird.
All right, so
He's gonna rush past you.
Yep, we're running that way.
So as the stampede crushes forward, these are trampled under hoof. The whole line of you also end up rushing toward the horizon here, leaving those behind. A group of you in conga fashion. Barreling ahead there, the Screaming God allows itself to reposition 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. These also slides there, and you, so fixated on the terrifying monstrosity, only making sense, do collide, bam, right there with the wall being slammed down. So,
Is this something that comes with the expansion?
That-
Or are they going to have cardboard tokens or something?
Just tokens. Yep.
So, the monster now draws its AI card. God's launch. Pick a target. Farthest threat. So, that's, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For you, you are not a threat. And you, despite the God's infinite movement, it is too large to reach inside to that point. So you have found one of the few places on the board that at this moment the Screaming God cannot reach. So it wheels and heads for our bow user. God's launch. Move the Screaming Gods towards the target. If adjacent, the monster's ancient horns flip the target into the air. Then it makes a powerful leap. It's undermaw snatching for you as it knocks you up. The target rolls 1d10. On a 6 or higher, they suffer Devour.
Great. So roll low.
A 10!
Of course.
So,
You needed that.
that means
Yeah,
that
but not
we've
now.
got Devour, let's see what that does. Reverent hands grasp to fill the Screaming God's mighty undermaw. When the monster collides with the survivor, roll 1d10. On a 10, they miraculously roll aside.
It would have been nice.
Otherwise, the undermaw snaps them up, devouring them
Yeah,
dead.
it's all good. I'll be dead. Yep,
So close.
I know.
Those dice
So-
you need.
He,
Yep.
Screaming God flings you into the air and
yep.
landing you back down. But this is one of the rare, exciting opportunities in your survivor's life where they learn whether or not they're delicious.
Okay.
So, that's the Screaming God's turn. What you guys want to do?
I'll go ahead and go.
Bright idea was to hunt this thing.
So I got reach of 3, so I can attack from where I'm at,
You could indeed.
and I will do so.
Fantastic.
I have 2 dice, please. I'll hit on 5 plus. So
All
that's
right,
1
so
hit.
that's going to be 1 hit to the monster's undermaw. It's currently overfilled, chomping undermaw. So, give me a roll. Let's see if we hit. 8 plus another 8 far exceeds 13, so that's a hit. Good news, there was a failure reaction that you just avoided, but instead you deal 1 damage over to the wound stack.
Too bad you couldn't get it to cough up.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Nope,
that's
I'm dead.
you. Want to move?
Yep. And I'll spend survival to encourage.
Nice, fantastic. So, your allies back up. Who's up next?
Attack, so that will go 1, 2, 3, 4.
But watch out for the horizon.
Should be clear.
Okay.
All right.
Now, if I am knocked down due to reaction, though, I would then die unless someone were to encourage me, correct?
Yep.
Okay, great.
There's very much a sweet spot here where it's like, oh, that's death, that's getting hit in the head.
Yeah, very... That is a hit.
All right, that's a hit. So you slam it with your Zambato in the vicious hindquarters. Give me a roll.
Come on, 3.
All right, so that's a wound. So burn another wound there, and wound reaction. The Screaming God shrieks, its noxious breath filling the air, then igniting. Turn the monster to face the attacker and perform explode. So again, another rush of phosphorescent explosion careens down this path, dealing 2 damage to a random hit location unless you want to spend a survival to fall flat and avoid it.
Oh boy.
So you'll be knocked down
Be knocked down
regardless.
regardless. It's a matter of
So
saving it
somebody-
for encouraging and dashing. I'll take it.
Okay. 2 damage to the
So now I
hand.
get to roll the severe injury table.
Alright, so that's going to be a severe injury to the hand. Let's see what we got. Lantern 10. Alright, so you hit the dirt. You are just knocked down. No extra bleeding.
No extra bleed token.
Nope.
That is great.
And then this it does have devastating.
Yep.
So did we deal 2? Awesome.
Hooray.
There you go.
Okay.
So you're up,
Yeah.
and I will need you.
That sounds so good.
He already encouraged, so you'll have to encourage me.
Alright, great.
Okay. And then I encourage going
Thank you.
from 2 to 1.
Alright, so you're back up. Good. Everything's fine. It's all going so well.
The lands.
It's a hit.
1 hit.
All right, you hit it in the ancient ear. Your blow, this is a safe spot. Your blow punctures the Screaming God's ear, burying itself in ages of wax. That's on your spear now. Enjoy.
You have a nice
Good thing has
candle.
reach. Yeah. So I need a 4 or better. Yay.
Fantastic, that's wound.
Okay.
All right,
That's
that
it.
everybody? Everybody
Yep.
happy with where they are? Okay, so we draw a fresh horizon card, 3 more walls, 1 that goes there, 1 that goes over there, and 1 right down the middle here. And again, the stampede rushing forward. Those are crushed beneath their hooves. This Screaming God also fades back to there. These move back to there. This is one of the rare instances where the Screaming God bounces over the wall, so it doesn't get sandwiched there. And their survivors bursting forward. Another whack there. Not under the Screaming God, far worse. And then, monster draws its AI, God Slam. The Screaming God's undermaw snaps shut. It suddenly leaps, attempting to crush you between its teeth and the ground. Farthest threat in range. This is rough.
I will dash.
All right, so there is a flow here.
So this is to me here?
Yep.
To you.
And what is it doing?
So it is going to move and attack.
Okay. I will spend a survival to dash during the flow.
Okay, so you spend a survival. Where are you moving to?
Not in the trample zone. Okay.
All right, so you get over to there. And is there anything you want to do during the flow?
I can't get away from it. It's got too much move.
All right, so
Oh wait.
the monster.
Unless you move
Yeah.
like here.
I will dash.
I can also.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you were right here?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Or I was here.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can encourage you, and then you can also dash to less survival.
What happens when we have collision?
I think he eats you.
It will devour you. Oh yeah, that's horrible. I don't want that. All right, so you're up, and you're dashing. Where you want to move?
Now it's going to be...
Anywhere over here.
But he moved. So with infinite move, now he's going to come this
We
way.
choose the path of his movement, which can be here. So he won't trample you if you're in there.
I won't be a complete jerk about this.
Thank you.
All right, so the monster speeds off towards you, gets up close, tries to slam into you, tries to wiggle these giant horns into this little gap here. It's sparking and trying to break its way in, but it just can't reach. So you have evaded its attack. That is the end of the monster's turn. Back to y'all.
Attack where you are? Yes, you can.
Sure. All right, so I'll attack from there. 2 dice.
2 of dice. There you go.
Those both miss.
All right. Whip, whip.
You need to be closer, right?
Yep.
I also need to be closer.
I'd like to be in the blind spot.
Sure. Me too. Here, I'll go. So 4 plus.
All right. That's a hit. You hit it in one of its 4 mighty hand hoofs.
That is a wound.
All right. That's a wound. So burning 1, 2 wounds with your devastating wound reaction. The Screaming God charges forward another 10 spaces.
Towards the horizon.
Toward the horizon. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's okay. It's okay. Nobody moves, nobody gets hurt.
All right.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Stand where you are.
So what y'all want to do?
He might get pushed. Is the only thing that happens. If someone focuses on your
Yeah, because it'll go right back to there.
So like when this moves 6, like if you're here, that is a safe spot.
All right, good with that?
He just moved on my attack, right? Those reactions. So at the end of my move, I could have gone here.
Yep.
Okay, great.
All right. So start of a fresh turn. Y'all happy with where you are?
I'm not, but okay.
I'm sure there's a part of you inside the Screaming God that's still thinking, reflecting on the decisions that led you here.
Let's hope not.
Probably being like, you know, it's pretty warm. All right, so again, the Stampede rushing forward. You all bolting ahead and, oh, minor detail, maybe putting some more walls down. Sorry, I forgot that, guys. I know that you were very excited about more walls. All right, the Screaming God as well drops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these, bam! And you slam right into it. Still, as you attempt to taunt the monster that couldn't reach you, you're still running, looking back. Ha!
You can attack.
All right. Oh, hey, it's got its launch again. Farthest threat in range.
Me.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the route that it would take to reach you, even though it can't reach you there. But that still runs it over you. Roll me a d10 to see what happens when you're devoured.
Opportunity for this one.
We could have, right?
An opportunity to encourage.
There is an opportunity to encourage.
I will encourage you.
All right.
Dash.
All right, so you're up. Where do you want to move?
Yeah.
All right, so avoiding that horrible fate. Much. Oh. Okay. So, you're managed to avoid you. And minor bank error in your favor. We're going to let it go, and it's back to you guys.
You're right there. Do you hit it? With your devastating? That could potentially.
All right.
Correct.
No, we got a lot to get through.
No, you don't. We got it down, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we need a hit location? Yep.
So you managed to hit?
Yeah.
Trap! God's belly flop! There's a fantastic burst of light and the Screaming God vanishes. You realize too late that it's leapt above you. Ancient molars crash, sparking on stone as the huge undermaw envelops you. All survivors are doomed. Place the monster directly on top of the attacker. All survivors in the monster space suffer Devour. Archive any terrain in the monster space as it crashes down, splintering stone walls, attempting to consume both of you. Show me 10s to escape. That's not a 10. That's not a 10. Both of you are devoured as the thing crashes down. All non-death survivors adjacent, which there is none, suffer 5 brain damage from the sound of teeth crunching both stone and bone. So, horrible turn. It was going so well. And we're going to throw that back in there. Gonna shuffle up. And if I could get you to cut the deck here so it is not my fault when that shows up at the top of the next hit location. All right, but it's still only got 2 hit points. It's down to just 2 here.
Move up to there, and I'll attack.
Double hit.
You've got this. It's fine.
I will. Oh my goodness. That's the exact same I rolled last time.
You want to be in its blind spot.
Because we were up in its blind spot,
All right, so you attack from there. 2 misses. We shuffle its 1-card deck.
You die.
Just flip it.
Put that back there. How much survival do you have left?
0.
Okay, 0? Okay, that's a good amount. So start of new turn. So it doesn't matter if you like where you're positioned or not, because 3 walls come in. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. We adjust for OCD. All right. And then again, you burst ahead. These fade into the back. The Screaming God repositions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You dart past these. And all right, so you head into this new region up here, but the monster's behind you. Hey, it's God's launch again. So it turns, careens ahead, drifts around this corner, and finds you in the ruins. Once it's adjacent, the monster flips the target into the air and then makes a powerful leap. It's undermaw snatching for you. Roll 1d6, and on a 6 or higher, Devour.
There you go.
You still have, all you have to do is just roll a 10. Roll a 10 is fine.
No.
That, I'm pretty sure that's canted.
Oh.
Roll one, clearly that's not. It's a 10! That's exactly what you needed. Fantastic. So, you plummet back to the ground and suffer knockback 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and are knocked down. So, good news, it didn't kill you immediately. Bad news, you're knocked down. Worst news, you have no friends anymore, so nobody's gonna get you up, so it's its turn again.
That's the last card. Yep.
Give me one more roll.
Oh, nice.
So, we have reached the point where it's going to continue doing this, so if you would like,
wouldn't it not knock him into the air at all?
Nope. The getting knocked down is what happens when you aren't devoured.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this is a situation where you're not going to be able to bust out of this while you're alone. But on the upside, at least now, we've seen almost every opportunity in which the Screaming God can take you apart, falling into the stampede, getting eaten alive, or getting battered to death when you're alone in the dark with no friends. So thank you guys so much for playing. Again, this is the Screaming God. This is new content for a Kingdom Death Monster, which is going to be coming through here around 2020. So thank you all for your time, and have a great Gen Con.
Thank you very much. That was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for playing, guys. Really appreciate it.